This is the Yankees POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the New York Yankees. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, for just the second time this season, the Yanks have been trailing after 7 and come back and win. They did so today against the Orioles. 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Yanks were down 2-1. Just like that, they were up 4-2. And that was the final score as they grabbed 2 of 3 from the Orioles. Jazz Chisholm, a huge 2-run double in that fateful 8th inning. Solid pitching from Will Warren. And again, the Yanks take 2 of 3 from Baltimore after a 4-2 win. Hello, everybody. I'm Jay Berman. If you're a New Yorker, you might recognize my work. I've spent more than 2 decades in the biz, everything from TV to web to radio. Glad to have you aboard. Please follow me on X as well. At Jay Berman, Jayberman. Welcome to the Locked On Yankees postcast, both on the Locked On Yankees YouTube channel and the Locked On Yankees podcast feed. The postcast gives you a place to chat after every game. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I want to tell you that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. As we said, excellent job by the Yankees coming from behind today.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Right off the top, we mentioned just the second time this season the Yanks have won a game when trailing after 7. As we said, a huge 2-run double from Jazz Chisholm in the bottom of the 8th inning. Yanks would tack on another run. Wild day for Jazz. The Yanks, as we said, just their second time coming from behind trailing after 7 innings. The Yanks had 1 hit with runners in scoring position through the first 7 innings today. They had 2 hits with runners in scoring position in the 8th inning alone. As we said, a very impressive bottom of the 8th inning. And even more good news, Devin Williams, who was once again the closer, and you can see it for 2 reasons. 1, he's been excellent. And 2, Luke Weaver obviously gave up the home run in his return, but 2 was warming up early, way before the 9th inning, to try and get into the game, which didn't happen because the Yankees went to Fernando Cruz, who was brilliant. But again, Luke Weaver was warming far before the 9th inning. Devin Williams earns the save, his 10th, a scoreless inning, struck out 1, allowed just 1 hit. But again, it tells you everything you need to know about the back end of the bullpen. And the 9th inning, when the Yanks are winning by 3 runs or fewer, it belongs to Devin Williams once again. Speaking of pitching, Will Warren, what a start. First pitch to Jackson Holliday, a single. Next pitch to Ramon Urias, hit by pitch. 2 pitches in, and the Orioles have 2 men on. Now, Holliday would eventually get picked off second base, which proved to be huge because the Orioles scored 2 runs in that first inning. Obviously, not counting the Holliday pickoff, could have been 3, could have even been more. But point is, you figured this might be a long day with Will Warren struggling out of the gates. Well, he settled down nicely. 6 1/3, 6 hits, 2 earned, 2 walks, 6 Ks. In fact, I thought he'd get through the 7th, through only 86 pitches. And considering where he was after just 1 inning, kudos to Will Warren for settling down. Tim Hill, 2/3 of an inning. He got the final 2 outs in the 7th. He did walk 2 batters, but again, registered 2 outs, did not give up a run. Fernando Cruz was the key. Top of the 8th inning, 2 on, nobody out. After those 2 Tim Hill walks, 3 straight Ks for Fernando Cruz. Dominating stuff. Needed just 13 pitches to get all 3 Orioles he faced, and obviously that stymied the Baltimore rally. Now, the Yankees had quite a few of those as well, and you're not going to talk about it, or at least it's not going to be brought up by anybody important, with the exception of me. It's not going to be brought up because the Yanks won. But to be fair, bottom of the sixth inning, second and third, nobody out. And these are the struggles the Yanks have been facing lately. Bellinger fly out, Stanton K, one of his three, and then a Jazz fly out. So much like the bottom of the sixth goes the top of the eighth. 2 on, nobody out. And as we said, 3 straight strikeouts for Fernando Cruz. We talked about Jazz's 2-run double in the eighth inning. That came on a 3-0 pitch. So Yankees obviously know when to give their hitters a green light on 3-0, and Jazz was right up to the task. 2 hits for Jazz, 2 RBIs and 2 runs. He's now hitting .242. Trent Grisham took an 0 for 4. Aaron Judge's average down to .367. It's amazing. He was so high for so long that as his average continues to plummet, you figure he's struggling. But with the exception, obviously, of the 6-game losing streak, he's not struggling. He didn't struggle yesterday. Anyways, 1 for 3. Ben Rice had 3 hits. Ben Rice, of course, last night had a triple and a home run. Today had a single and a double. Cody Bellinger takes an 0 as well, as was Oswald Peraza. He was replaced by Jason Dominguez, and then ultimately Anthony Volpe, who, of course, had 3 hits yesterday and did not play. We wondered late last night on the postcast if, or despite Anthony Volpe having 3 hits, will he still sit on Sunday? True to his word, Aaron Boone sat Anthony Volpe, and hey, it comes in a win, and that's all that matters. Yanks are now 45-32, back to 13 over 500. They're 24-16. Meanwhile, the Baltimore Orioles, who, of course, got off to such a horrible start, fired their manager. Well, a huge hole to dig out of, and they couldn't do it today. They're now 33-44, well back of the Yankees in the American League East. All right, Will Warren and Tim Hill and Fernando Cruz. Those were your first 3 dealers. Obviously, Cruz gets the win because the Yankees took the lead after he was pitching. Devin Williams, obviously, the save, his 10th. And again, he needed just 14 pitches to retire 3 batters before Baltimore scored a run. By the way, just goes to show how high Devin Williams' ERA was, considering how good he's been of late and has had the opportunity to pitch in the 9th inning. His ERA still over 5.08. Again, just goes to show how bad it was from the beginning. We told you about Giancarlo Stanton's 3 strikeouts, 2 more for Trent Grisham as well. Meanwhile, on the Baltimore side, Jackson Holliday had 2 hits today. But again, that base running blunder, getting picked off second base after 2 on and 2 pitches in the first inning. Yes, we thought that Will Warren struggled in that second inning, but man, does that bail out the Yankees in that first inning. All right, Gunnar Henderson did not have a hit, but walked 3 times. 2 hits for Ryan O'Hearn, 2 hits for Dylan Carlson, but again, not much in the way of runs. They scored 2 runs in the top of the first, could have been more, and that was it. In fact, they only managed 7 hits the entire afternoon. All right, we have plenty of injury updates to get to. We'll do that next, and off to Cincinnati. No rest for the weary. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll take a look at the probables, and obviously we'll do player of the game as well. All right, we'll start with Wonderful Pistachios. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Well, crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios, one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1-ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better-for-you unsaturated fats to help you keep feeling fuller longer. Personally, I love the no shells variety. It's the perfect grab-and-go snack for busy days. Whether I'm snacking at my desk, on a road trip, or just need a quick protein boost, they're always my go-to. And if you love cracking open every shell for that satisfying crunch, the in-shell options are a classic favorite as well. Get snacking, get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. All right, up next is FanDuel. The NBA playoffs in full swing. In fact, they come to a close tonight. every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking my favorite team or diving into player props. From three-pointers to steals to assists, FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com, claim your $250 in bonus bets today. All right, you know what time it is.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
All right, we'll give it to Jazz today, who, of course, had the huge hit in the bottom of the eighth inning. It put the Yankees up 3-2 and gave them a lead for the first time today. Now, they'd add on another run in that fateful eighth inning, and for the second time this season, just the second time, when trailing after 7, the Yanks won a ball game, and Jazz did it with that huge double. In fact, Jazz had 2 doubles on the day, and obviously that collision at home plate was scary, but Jazz got the job done. Lost both shoes on the play. I don't think I've ever seen that. He lost one shoe in between third and home and lost the second shoe on the slide or the jump or the collision, whatever you want to call it. It was a scary play, one in which the catcher Handley had to leave the game, clearly looking concussed. But again, wild day for Jazz, and fitting he makes the final out of the game on a ground ball to third base. So Jazz is your player of the game. Will Warren not far behind, 6 1/3. Again, 2 earned. All right, Ryan Yarbrough, 15-day IL. Bad news. He's been real good for the Yankees. A right oblique strain that, believe it or not, he said he felt 2 starts ago, could not get loose in his most recent bullpen. To the IL he goes. Now, coincidentally, guess who's 2 starts into his rehab? Marcus Stroman. So perhaps if the Yankees can finagle it to get Stroman 1 or 2 more rehab starts, he could slip right into that spot in the rotation. However, Alan Winans will start for the Yankees in Cincinnati tomorrow. That's right. He's 7-0 with an ERA below 1 in 11 games, 9 starts at AAA. So he deserves it. He's going to get the first shot on Monday as the Yankees are in Cincinnati for the Reds. Here's the pitching matchups. Alan Winans versus Nick Lodolo on Monday. Carlos Rodon and Chase Burns, one of the top picks when the Reds took him, and one of the best young prospects in baseball. He gets his major league debut underway Tuesday. And of course, it's against Carlos Rodon. What a pitching matchup that'll be. As for Wednesday, that's Max Fried's turn. It's either Nick Martinez or Brady Singer for Cincinnati. Again, Winans on Monday, Rodon on Tuesday, and Max Fried on Wednesday. Again, 3 night games in Cincinnati. The Yanks will only go on the road for 3 games. Then they're back home for 3 with the A's. That's fireworks weekend, by the way. Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, then right back out on the road to Toronto next Monday, or at least 2 Mondays from now. At the end of June, they'll be in Toronto to face the Blue Jays. So again, 3 with Cincinnati, 3 with Oakland. Cincinnati's on the road, Oakland is home, then back out on the road for Toronto. Again, 4-2 the final score. The Yankees win a game when trailing after 7 for just the second time this season. So kudos on the comeback. Will Warren was solid. Fernando Cruz was great. He gets the win. Devin Williams was excellent as well. He earns the save, his 10th. And again, the Yanks will move on to Cincinnati to face the Reds. Thanks for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Also want to mention our partners in crime at Locked On Yankees, Stacey Gotsulias and Brian McKeon. Again, that's Locked On Yankees. It's all there, so follow, subscribe, and enjoy. 4-2 the final score. Jazz a big hit. Yanks come from behind. They take 2 of 3 from Baltimore. It's on to Cincinnati for the first of 3 Monday night. We'll be with you immediately following Yanks and Reds. Have a great Sunday night, everyone.